So hello everyone, I'm with my review of the Titan episode 48, or episodes 11 and 3. And I kind of call it like the man who knew Grisha, you know, Grisha's backstory revealed. Not entirely true, right? Because there still is more of Grisha's backstory to be revealed. But generally, yeah, about Keith and his relationship with Grisha and Carla. And man, this guy got that read. It was another great episode. It had, I really like his, you know, his story. I do, yeah. I think some of the humanization of character really good, right? So I like how he's like, it's like, man, I didn't want to train you and so on. Yeah, because I didn't want to hurt her son, right? I think I love her and you were kind of like my son, not really, but he kind of felt that way. And so I love the last moment when he breaks his gear. That's a great detail back in the startup, because obviously Aaron couldn't really maneuver the gear in the beginning of the anime, so he was not that broke his gear in secret, so it could be harder for him. I love that detail. That was really great. But anyway, yeah, I think obviously, even though it's from Keith's perspective and we kind of get his life right and how he was the leader of the the scouts and that failed and his depression and so on. I think it was a great episode, but it's still about Grisha, right? So, okay, we can finally say it confirmed now, and some people say, oh, spoiler. I mean, this is confirmed now, right? Arguably, but I think it's confirmed now in the anime that Grisha is from the outside, right? Or something like that. Because he didn't know. I mean, he didn't know the inside of the world. He might have amnesia, though, but not really. So it's more like he didn't know anything about the world. He's from somewhere else. And of course, we didn't know that Anne is mentioned that, somewhere else, and also Rainer and Barrett mentioned somewhere else, right? So, yeah. So I think that definitely people got theorized about, right? But generally, though, that's very interesting, right? He also was a good doctor, and then of course he goes and kills the royal family after the incident. But I think it was great. It's a weird episode in that sense, not the backstory. How Keith is like, he knew what Grisha did. He knew he was the one that killed the royal family. He knew Aaron had, maybe not the powers, but he knew that Aaron had something, right? And he was like, I did that. Yeah. And he tells them now, after they defeated the royal family, after they conquered the country, so to speak, the world, the human world, yeah. Now it's like, oh yeah, by the way, I knew all along. It's like, thank you for telling us now, man. Thank you. Because I mean, it's a little fun in that sense, right? So we have the whole arc now, where it's about, okay, what's the royal family, what's the secret of the wall cult, who is the actual king and so on, right? What happened in the incident where, of course, Grisha killed Frida and the other royal children. And this guy, who's his best friend, Keith, he knew all along. He knew all along what happened. And he's like, oh yeah, I actually knew about all that. And it's like, yeah. So he basically could have explained it to them, right? Years back. He could have explained it to Aaron so on years back. But he, yeah. For several reasons he didn't, I guess. One reason, right? But I think it's two reasons. I think for me, that way I interpret it, the main reason is he loved Carla, right? So he was like, I don't want to endanger her son. I could never get to marry her. I wanted to marry her, but yeah, she had a son anyway. And he's like, oh, he's so cute and so on. And the other one was a great though. She met cute Aaron. It should be Aaron, yeah, kid Aaron. That was awesome. But anyway, yeah. So he was kind of like, I don't want to endanger Aaron, so they want to tell him anything about what actually happened in the forest. But at the same time, right, that kind of behavior, this is actually a good episode, because that kind of behavior, where it's like, I have information, right, that could help you, but also set you to danger, because the information is very, very, delicate, right, how it actually is with me. So, how would I say, by not telling Aaron the other ones, he really endangers them, because they're still going to go and fight that evil king, right, and he knows stuff that happened in the forest and so on, and what happened to Grisha and stuff like that, so he knows a lot of stuff, and they're telling them that. So that's not really helping them. But if he did, they might go earlier and get killed, right? So he definitely had a dilemma there. So I think it's a good written character, because he's kind of like, well, if I told you, you probably would do something stupid. But no, you did something to the enemies, maybe I should have told you, yeah. And of course, he can't really come in there in the perfect time. And in that sense, I think the writing is good, because it would be really silly if he just arrived this before, the reveal. Like, actually, guys, I know this truth. That would be silly. If a character just kind of come from nowhere and be like, hey, well, by the way, I know the truth of the world, like suddenly. Now it's more like we have learned the truth, that he knows some extra stuff on that. So I think the writing is really on point on that. If he was to do this earlier, like in the middle of this arc, that would be ridiculous. That would be really silly and be very, very forced. Now instead it's like, oh yeah, he actually knew everything already. Okay, it's kind of like, wait a minute. But I really like Keith's story. It's a sad love story, right? And also ungrateful story, so depression and so on. So first of all, he obviously loves Aaron's mother, Carla. He's obviously in love with her, right? And I really like this scene. And he was carrying her when she was sick to the hospital, which is kind of like a house, but the hospital, and to Grisha, right? And it's a moment there when he's like handing her over, and he's like, if I hand her over now, because he's trying to say it for himself, right? He's like, he knows that, oh damn, this guy's gonna charm her. This guy's gonna, seduce my lady. Like, I can't really give her away here, but at the same time, he's like, I love her, so I don't want her to die, right? So he's kind of like, I have to, set it free if you love it. Yeah, he's like, I have to, give her to Grisha here, which probably would backfire on me when it comes to my relationship with her. But I have to do it, otherwise she dies, right? So he has this moment there when he kind of hesitates, and he's like, maybe I can heal her. Yeah, so that feels really sad. It feels really sad for him. I mean, I feel really sad for him, right? Because he's like, he really has that moment there when he himself realized that, man, if I do this thing now, I'm losing the woman I love, right? But if I don't do it, I'm also losing the woman I love. So he's really in a position there where he's like, damn. Well, between a rock and a hard place, right? So that was bad. That was sad. I really care for his backstory. It's a great backstory. And afterward, of course, he comes back after some incident. Some people has died, right? And she's standing there with like Kid Aaron, and he's all happy and like, yeah, look at my child. It's all, good and that. And he's like, word this shit. Yeah, I think that was great. I think it was a really good episode. That was really emotional. And I do really believe his character, because as he kind of says there, he's like, I'm also trying to do something good. And there's a doctor and it's awesome, stuff like that, but I'm trying to like rescue the world. I'm trying to like save the human race. And everyone hates us, right? So I think his backstory is really nice, because obviously everyone else, they really dislike him, right? Generally. Because they're kind of like, oh, they go out there, they take with them some children that are stupid, and then the kids die, and everyone's like, oh, you failure, you never do anything, and you never accomplish stuff, you got like a notebook bad, who cares? Some Titan, who cares? Yeah, like no one really respects them, right? They always hated them, and of course, as we know with the government from our standpoint now, given 2 episodes, we know the government didn't even give them all the truth, right? They were kind of like, whatever, just let them do something, and then we can kind of like keep their morale up and having some kind of squad trying to do something. Yeah, so he's out to the shit, right? And he really falls down into the depression here and so on in his backstory. So I think it's a really good backstory, as I guess that again a few times now, I know, but yeah. It's really emotional and so on. And I really feel for the character. He was not red. But that was a good story. I really love, though, the moment where Aaron realizes that it's him. It's like, that guy, the real Sergeant guy, is like, bald, here, bald. It's the same person! Like that was a really weird scene. It's like, it doesn't look the same. I don't think it looks that similar. And it's like, here, wait a minute, it's him? That was good. But the best moment, though, clearly was Yeager's Mikasa. That was the best moment. When Aaron and Historia, and I've been keep saying that Aaron and Historia now might be a thing, right? I've been keep saying that. And they go there, he's kind of sulky. She's kind of like, come on, Aaron, we can save the planet. And Historia was awesome and cheerful and Genki. And then Mikasa runs like, give me that stuff, you weak, and you do that stuff. And then she just completely breaks them off. And it's like, no, this is my man. Bad Historia. That was a great moment. That was the best moment of the episode. That was a great moment. It was super funny, and she looks like she was gonna murder Historia, maybe even Aaron, but at least Historia very, very soon here. That was a great scene. Otherwise, though, I was with episodes about 9 or 10 or so, because I do feel that the first roughly 10 or so minutes, it's more like 7 or 8, something like that, but they weren't very meaningful, right? Like, to be honest, right? It was funny with Mikasa. That was really, really funny. Smart, that was kind of funny. And I liked his story I played. That was great. So they had like a good like intermission, kind of a normal, casual life thing. So it wasn't like useless. I liked it, but it felt like it could have been less time, right? I would say that. And it kind of was season 2, where they had the Historia and Emu in the snow episode, which I think is a bit filler for that matter, I think. I think it's like very, very filler. I think the manga has like 1 chapter in that at least. Oh, sorry, at most, at most. Probably half of that. And, like, the first bit before the backstory, right? that probably easily could have been probably half the time and done the same thing, right? Something like that. That's kind of what I mean. Because Mikasa's job is important. Again, the Historia and her kind of the children and like, oh, she's a great leader, and then we see her later on like giving commands, so on. Those things are important, right? But all of us kind of built on, you know, oh look at this, we're very happy and so on. So yeah, I mean it's nice, but compared to the backstory of Grisha, like this, right? The second half of the episode is amazing. So it's it definitely reminded me of season 2. We had a few episodes there where it kind of is like, oh, okay, Ymir is in love with Historia, and we do some jokes about that, and it's kind of definitely 10 minutes, and but it could be like maybe 5 minutes most. But yeah, the Grisha story is great. So we know from outside he could heal people way better than us could do it, right? He knew about the royal family, of course, it's a big thing, it's the biggest thing, and he of course pre-planned and took Eren with him into the forest where he killed them. I already knew that though, but kind of perspective. Also, on that Keaton was the one who got Eren back again, right? That's how Eren survived from the force and so on. So it kind of adds up. So that episode, yeah, because it adds up the I'll say it, some loose ends, right? The Keith kind of fills in now how he knew about that and so on. But yeah, great episode. I will say again, one thing I already mentioned, enough I suppose, but I really liked Eren as a kid. That's kind of fun. He was eating his about hair and so on. That's a cute moments there. And the general incident there between Keith and Carla was great too. And he's like, but it's so cute, look at children, the people, yeah, and all of that was great. And Carla, of course, being like attractive bartender waitress and being like, what's this new guy? And it's kind of funny when you see kind of anime, right? Or any kind of storyline where you know they're gonna get married and get kids. It's kind of cute there. You see her like, oh, who's this new person? It's like, oh yeah, he's got here, and like we see the kind of how they first met and so on. So that was kind of cute and funny. And but at the same time, we see from Keith's perspective, he's in love with her. So he's getting all like, oh, but I love her, and this new guy that I saved, and oh yeah, like so. I think that's great because it kind of gives this weird, weird positioning. Like we see from his eye, his power vision, right? So it's like it's kind of cute and funny because we know like, yay, main characters, Papa and Mama. But at the same time, it's like, man, this is some really weird like nectar for him, and it's like, man, it's kind of depressing. So I like the juxtaposition of the episode. I like that a lot. That's great. Anyway, hope you liked this review. The like button, subscribe button, so on, right? Twitch, Twitter, all that good stuff. Discord, of course. See you guys next week with more Attack on Titan. And if you're a manga reader, the manga reaction last Friday, 2 days ago, the manga. So have a great